Hello!
And welcome
to Nightmare Nation,
your favorite paranormal, scary time, ghost type story
podcast.
Yes.
I'm Anna.
Oops, my bad. I'm Annie.
And we're here tonight to talk to you about all things scary.
Yep.
As
best friends do.
Yeah.
That's just what you do. If you're not truly best friends unless you share horrible things with each other.
Yes.
On a
Friday night.
Yeah. On a weekly basis.
Yes. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming at you at a new location this week for our recording. It is in Annie's closet.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
You know, I read online that that the best place to record is actually in a closet because all of the clothes and like fabric absorb your sound.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, in a room where there's not as many obstructions, your sound will bounce around off the walls and make it sound echoey, I guess. So I figured, why not try recording in a closet?
And she was the one yelling at me about 2 weeks ago when I suggested recording in my closet, and she's like, no.
Well, and you know what? It was a bitch to set up, so it wasn't entirely unwarranted.
We are using a hamper, so it's fine.
Yeah, our microphone is wedged in the hamper.
I've got a lot of places in my closet that it could fit.
Next week we'll come to your place and we'll record from your closet.
Yeah, we will.
Keep your dog under control.
Well, my closet is way out.
That's true.
And then Ben can
entertain him. Yeah. As long as he keeps the TV low.
It'll be fine.
Cool.
So tonight, we're talking to you about some Moon River Brewery.
Some Moon River. Just one of the many. Some Moon River Brewery.
A Moon River Brewery.
This is my favorite topic of all time because it combines two of my most loved things.
Ghosts
paranormal
and
things.
Beer.
And beer.
Perfect.
And alcohol. Yes.
Yes.
Great times.
Perfect.
What could possibly go wrong?
Ghosts.
Right.
And murder.
So many murders.
Yes.
It's insane.
It's so great.
God, I love it. Tell me all about it.
Ooh, Moon River Brewery. I hate that word so much.
Brewery. I always struggle with that too. It really sucks.
Brewery and borrowers. I, for the life of me, couldn't say borrowers for a while.
You can't
say
now.
borrowers.
Like a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
You sound fine now. You've overcome your crippling disability.
I have.
Good job.
Brewery is still.
That's hard.
That's difficult.
I had a really hard time with burial last week. I kept
Burial.
saying like burial. Every time I listen to the episode, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I sound like I'm really struggling with that word. I don't know why.
All right. So it was built in 1821 by Elzer Early. So it has a lot of different things that it was used for. So it was first used as a hotel, and it was actually one of the first hotels ever in Savannah, which is pretty cool. So
it's all in Savannah, by the way.
Yeah, Savannah, Georgia.
So originally we were gonna do
Georgia. That
what
I don't
was
know.
That British?
I don't. It was
Savannah,
supposed to be.
Okay.
It was supposed to be Southern.
Savannah, Georgia. Is that closer?
Well, yeah.
Closer. We were originally going to do the whole city because apparently Savannah is like the most haunted city in the whole country. But how do you sum up the history of an entire city? And it has like 19 different haunted buildings.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't going to be impossible.
It's too much.
We decided to narrow it down.
Yeah.
Coincidentally.
It was in Savannah.
Right, because I read about Moon. I was like, I don't know if we can do Savannah. That's too much. How about we do this cool brewery place? God, now I sound weird when I say let's do this cool brewery place. And I'm like, oh my God, it's in Savannah. Yeah, that was unintentional.
It was perfect.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so being that it was used as a first hotel in Savannah, most of the people who frequent there were very wealthy. And they would go in and enjoy fine spirits imported from all over the world. So they were very fancy.
Drinking old fashions.
Yes, with their fancy whiskey and wine and their fancy long beaded gowns.
Yeah,
and
with
suits.
The really, really high-necked bodices with the little lace under your chin and all that shit. Pearl necklaces and the like floofy hat things that they wear, but that only cover the very top of their hair, not their whole head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Perfect.
Lots of monocles and happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Precisely.
That's what I picture. A bunch of gentlemen holding up monocles going, whoa, excuse me.
So after it was a hotel, it hosted its last guest in 1864 when General Sherman claimed the city during the American Civil War.
Sweet.
So then it was also used as a hospital when Savannah was hit with the yellow fever. So Savannah was hit very badly with yellow fever in the 1820s. And it wasn't uncommon for essentially entire families just to die from it.
Yeah, it's like the slightly less severe version of the plague, essentially.
Pretty much.
Just like total devastation.
Yes, just wiped out everyone. So then it was used as a storage space, office supply store, which had it had a printing press.
Fancy.
Which is pretty super cool.
Pretty super cool. It was an office supply store?
Yeah.
That's so, like, quaint and humble.
So it was the 1960s was when it was renovated into an office supply store.
Fun. I wonder if they had haunted staplers and shit.
Probably. Thrown staplers and stuff across.
What? Oh, who's just stapled my foot?
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
Assholes.
Jerks.
That hurt so bad. Oh, and during the turn of the century, I'm just going to kind of bounce back and forth between time frames. We're not going to go in chronological order.
It's okay. We're going to keep you guessing, and you can kind of puzzle it all together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So during the turn of the century, the building was also used for lumber and coal warehouse, then used for general storage. And then it sat empty until 1995 when it was renovated into the brew pub that it is now.
Sweet.
So they were... I read that the brewery...
You're never going to be able to say that word now without laughing.
They won I think it was like a gold medal award for one of their ales that they made. It sounded absolutely terrible.
Uh-huh. You're not a big craft beer fan?
No, not anymore, since Ben started getting me on some Bud Lights.
Oh, gross.
That's what I drink.
So you like drinking piss is what you like.
Yeah, piss
Sweet.
Water.
It's cheap.
Hey-yo.
Cost
delicious.
Effective.
Exactly. And so they're open for brewery tours. They got an outdoor patio. You can eat some dinner, some lunch. You can bring dogs. Or dog friendly.
Sweet. I love that.
That'd be so fun. So yeah, it's open now. You guys can go check it out, drink some brewskis, and enjoy it outside Savannah.
Yeah. There's a restaurant.
Yeah, there's a restaurant. You can eat some lunch and dinner and brewery foods.
Like pretzels.
Yeah. And burgers and wings and fries and cheese curds and sandwiches and French fries.
All that good
stuff. It's perfect.
If it's greasy, they got it.
They've got it for you. You can even get a glass of grease if you want to drink that.
That's disgusting.
Make sure there's no sludge on the bottom.
I was just going to say, check for ectoplasmic fryer ghosts.
Ectoplasmic fryer ghosts are coming for you.
They're everywhere.
Yes. So some of the more darker history of this brewery location. So in the spring of 1832, a feud broke out between James Stark and Dr. Philip Minnies. So I was a little confused when I read this article because it said Dr. Philip Minnies. And then
I think it's minus.
Well, the first one it said Minnis, and then it said Dr. Minus.
But it's spelled M-I-N-I-S. From what I saw, but then in a video, I heard them say it was pronounced minus.
Okay.
So maybe that's it.
So it's the same person. Mm-hmm. So Stark was known around the town as just essentially like a drunk and someone who just wreaked havoc around everywhere he went.
Sounds
just
fun.
Kind of an asshole.
Cool.
So he was making all sorts of derogatory remarks about the doctor. Didn't say what kind of remarks. So Dr. Minnis was sick of this bullshit. Walked into the bar, he allegedly said that he saw Stark reaching for a gun. Mm-hmm. So then Dr. Minnis pulled out his gun and shot Stark.
I read that it was like an actual formal duel. Like he challenged him to a duel. And then they were exchanging some words, and then Stark reached for his gun, and then Minus shot him.
Okay.
Is what I read. But I also read that there's conflicting accounts. So,
right, because the article I read it said that the doctor just walked in the bar, saw Stark, and shot him. Oh. And I was a little confused with that.
It's kind of
aggressive.
Like,
why, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you just see me? Oh, I'm going to shoot you today. Bang. Like,
I read that it was like he challenged him to a duel, and they were trying to figure out if they could come to some sort of agreement, and then words were exchanged, and they kind of went back and forth, and then eventually ended up with him getting shot.
Let's exchange some words.
I'll challenge you to a duel.
Yeah.
I will slap your face with a glove.
Kick your ass.
We'll do it tonight.
Yep.
So there's only one podcast host next week. You know
what happened.
You know what went down.
So then at his trial, he was acquitted, And it said that everybody was just happy that Stark was gone. So.
Oh no, he's that guy.
He's that guy.
Everyone's like, good riddance.
Pretty much.
He must have been a douche.
Yeah. So then in 1860, there was a guy named James Sinclair. And he almost died in the hotel.
Narrowly escaped with his life.
Yes. So he was a resident of New York City, and he decided that he wanted to move to Savannah to find a new life and to find a new job, working in the coal and mining industry. I don't know if they actually had anything down there, but I guess Savannah had a lot of jobs at that time. But the locals didn't like having a Yankee in town.
What?
So
That's racist.
Pretty much.
You dicks.
Assholes.
They got against the Yankees on. What's wrong with the New Yorker?
New Yorker.
Yeah.
Dickwads.
That's a horrible accent. Wow.
So the locals all told him that you need to leave the city. Like, get out. We don't want you here.
Jerks.
But he decided that he wasn't going to because he wanted a job and he wanted a new life. So one night, they all... so he refused to leave. And he was drawn out in the middle of the night by a lynch mob. Where they almost beat him to death.
No!
Yeah.
But they didn't
But they didn't because was alive. I was going to say he's still alive, but he's not.
Nice.
Because it's...
Nope, if he was, he'd be really old.
Yeah.
He'd be like 190.
Decrepit.
A skeletal, dusty old man.
Yeah.
Gross.
So that kind of leads into some super awesome haunted history stories over here.
So
with some
creepy.
Deaths in Savannah, Georgia's history of yellow fever and all that fun shit.
All that fun shit.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, this place is frequently referred to as the most haunted. I'm not even going to attempt to say the B word anymore because I just don't even want to go there. I'm just done saying it. I'm going to sound like a fool.
Yeah.
So, this particular establishment is frequently referred to as the most haunted building in the city of Savannah. And that means a lot because there's a lot of them in Savannah. I mean, the whole place was it's just riddled with haunted houses and things. So, it takes a lot to get to the top of that list.
Yeah.
It's been featured in Ghost Adventures, BuzzFeed, Unsolved, Supernatural, as well as a Halloween special episode of Ghost Hunters.
Oh,
it's all good stuff. Perfect. I love BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural because those guys are just so funny.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It was on Hulu for a while. It might still be there. It's pretty good.
I'll have to check that out.
And they're short episodes. They're only like 20 minutes long. So it's just nice little chunks for your daily dose of paranormal fright. They went to the Winchester House. They did... What? They did the RMS Queen Mary. They went to this place, so...
Oh, cool.
Basically, we're just copying them.
Pretty much.
Episode for episode.
Sorry, guys.
But not really.
No,
we came up with it on our own. So, since it's opening as a brewery... B-word... Since opening, both staff and customers have experienced paranormal things, some of them being pretty violent. Accounts include bottles being thrown by unseen forces.
Perfect.
Witnessing full-on apparitions, people being either pushed, slapped, or otherwise touched by unseen forces. And I forgot to say, I got a lot of my information from Wikipedia and a lot of it from ghostcitytours.com. So they wrote a big, long, helpful article about a lot of the stuff. And then an article from savannahnow.com.
Ooh.
So, a lot of people also commonly report that spirits seen in the area are often children, or they'll hear or see things that look like little kids running around. Children. I'm sure a lot of those kids probably died during the yellow fever outbreak.
Most likely.
And I feel like kids' ghosts are always nice and friendly, so hopefully they're not the violent ones pushing people, but they run around. They're seen from time to time. A spirit named Toby, in particular, is known for pushing people, and he likes to haunt the bar's billiard room. So no one can really tie him back to any particular figure. I guess they just started calling him Toby. Like, there's no record of a man named Toby being murdered there. Like, they don't really know where his ghost came from, but that's weird. What they call him. And he's apparently so famous and so well known at the bar that they have a beer named after him called the Apparition Ale.
Oh, I want to try that.
Which, of course, I want to try. I'm like, can I buy that in a 6-pack and get that shipped to my house?
That'd be sweet.
So he likes to push people, and he sometimes is a dick and tips people's drinks over.
What a dick.
I know.
Why would you do that?
What a waste of good alcohol.
Right?
Jerk.
Whoa! Why are you throwing your fucking phone?
I went to reach for the mic and I smacked it out of my hand.
Fuck.
I just get so excited.
Holy shit, calm down.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
So Toby.
He
likes to tip people's drinks over. Okay, another famous ghost is that of a man named James Stark.
Oh, so he's back!
He got shot and
yep,
he is back with a vengeance.
Perfect. You go, James.
He likes to wander around on the main floor. So, yeah, again, in the story that I read, there was a duel that took place on August 10th of 1832, where it was a little bit more formal, hoity-toity arrangement than just bust into the bar and shoot him dead. But yeah, he died like right away, and I think Minus got put on trial for his murder. I think it was considered a murder.
Yep.
So, yeah. Oh yeah, this is where, okay, it said that Minus called Stark a coward, Stark reached for his pistol, and then Minus shot him through the chest.
Oh, perfect.
So, Savannah Now, the website that I mentioned, so that's like a local news website. And in 2008, they interviewed Christopher Lewis, who either was or still is the operations manager. I don't know if he still works there or not. And he strongly believes that the building is haunted by spirits and doesn't like being there alone, especially at night. He claims to have experienced things like sitting in the office doing some paperwork and having bottles thrown at him from off the shelves.
Oh, jeez, that's aggressive.
Right. Yeah.
Holy
violent.
Crap.
That'll get you good if you get hit in the head with a glass bottle.
Ouch.
He's seen shadows walking by and hearing the sounds of kids playing when no one was in the building.
Of course.
So he's like, oh yeah, it's definitely haunted. I know. Just giggling child.
God.
So now I'm going to kind of talk about each section of the building. Are you ready?
Ooh, yeah.
The basement.
The basement. Here we go.
So in the basement is the bar and the billiard room, I think, are the two main parts down there. There's like 4 floors in this building, and it's all kind of broken out differently. So I think it's the bar and the billiard room that are in the basement. So of course, that area in particular is a hotbed for paranormal activity. Most of the staff report having seen or physically experienced something there. And one of the employees, whose his last name was Murray, says that the basement can actually be a dangerous place to be.
Oh.
So I don't know exactly when this was, but at one point the brewery had published a guidebook to as part of like Haunted City of Savannah tours. And during the night of their launch party for publishing that article, the publisher was physically attacked.
Oh, geez.
And Murray, of course, made a point of saying, like, she was a good Catholic girl and she didn't even believe in ghosts. So I don't know why that makes it more credible, but they interviewed her and she said she felt like something had violently grabbed her by the throat and, like, pushed her back.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Some angry spirits in
seriously. There. And she said she kind of got to a point in the room where she felt like she couldn't walk any further and there was, like a force field there. And then she got grabbed and pushed back.
It's terrifying.
So Murray was in the episode of Ghost Adventures, of course, and he was helping guide Zach Baggins around during their tour of the building. And while they were in the basement, they saw a white figure that, like, of course, Zach Baggins saw it out of the corner of his eye. Of course. And, did you see that? I just saw something. But what's really interesting is they followed where they thought they saw this white figure walk off to, and it led him to the opening of a hidden underground tunnel. And Murray, the employee, said that most people who come there and do like paranormal tours and visit the place to try to find stuff never find this hidden doorway, and it was a tunnel that would have been used by people hiding underground to try to escape from the yellow fever outbreak.
Oh shit.
Because back then they thought that just if you hid away, I don't know, you're not breathing the fresh air, I guess, so you don't get sick.
That makes sense.
And so he was like, wow, you guys, it led you straight to this place that most people never find while they're here. So that's I thought that was kind of interesting. So then this was super funny because they go outside to see where it comes out. And Zach is like, what is that? There's something in there. There's something inside. And he sticks his head in, and it's this cat that fucking flips out. He's like, rear, and jumps out in his face, and you hear him go like, oh my God, because it scares the crap out of him.
Dumbass.
It's so funny.
Oh, it's great.
So Toby, the ghost, is often seen in the basement as well. So this is actually really creepy. I saw a really freaky clip of this on Ghost Hunters, and this was just like on YouTube. Someone had, I think, cropped it from the episode and put it on YouTube. But there is this shadow figure that like runs past the pool tables, and you see it kind of like run one direction and then turn back and go back the way it came.
That's cool.
It gave me so many chills. It's super, super scary. And people think that is Toby and that he runs around on there a lot.
Oh, he's just having fun.
He's just doing laps.
He just wants to play billiards and stuff.
Getting in some cardio, doing laps around the pool tables.
Getting his steps in.
One of the bartenders reports that the pool table is played with constantly and that things will go missing and be hidden in weird places. Playing with balls. Flopping those balls around.
Flopping them balls.
She thinks that it's the ghosts of the children. And the same bartender said she saw at one point a black figure. She wasn't sure if it was Toby or not. And she was down there in the basement and she saw this black figure like hunched over And she felt like it was staring right at her, and she stood there and watched it stare at her for like 5 minutes straight.
No, just run away.
Right?
Why?
She was frozen.
Fuck that.
She said it felt like 5 minutes.
Jeez,
they were just
probably
standing there.
Someone with yellow fever hunched in the corner.
Probably.
Hiding from...
Puking. Yeah. Dying. I'm just picturing like rashes all over the body. I have no idea what yellow fever is.
I don't either. I'm picturing someone that's just like all yellow.
Oh.
Just dying.
Yeah. Like,
they're yellow with a fever.
What is that when your liver's really bad?
Jaundice.
You get jaundice.
You get yellow.
Yep.
Yellowing of the eyes and skin.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Another bartender who spends a lot of time in the basement, he was interviewed for the same Savannah Now article. His name was Chase Harding, and he said that 2 of his coworkers once witnessed something on a Saturday night where a girl walked in through the back door and started going up to the bar. But she started out, they said, looking kind of fuzzy, and as she got closer, she kind of got more and more in focus, but as you saw, like, from her torso out to her limbs, she got more and more, like, faded and, like, see-through looking.
That's weird.
So she was, like, getting more and more physically incorporated as she was coming up to the bar, and then she just vanished when she got up to the bar.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Yep. So, the restaurant.
Ooh, the restaurant.
Yep. So, a writer for a website called GhostCityTours.com, I like this story a lot. So this is in quotes. I personally have been witness to 2 events. I'm only going to do the first one, though. The second one's not that exciting. So 2 events at Moon River, which can only be explained by the ghosts of the Moon River Brewing Company messing with people. Last summer, I was on a date with a lovely young lady. We went to Moon River for dinner. During the course of dinner, she excused herself to the restroom. The minutes ticked by, and I started to wonder if she had just bailed on me. Almost 10 minutes later, she came back to the table, tears streaming down her face.
Oh, no.
I asked her what was wrong. Is everything okay? After she took a deep breath and composed herself, she proceeded to tell me that she was in one of the stalls. When she tried to exit, the door wouldn't open. She assured me the door was not locked. She pushed on the door with all of her weight, but it would not budge.
Oh, my God.
She started to panic, but didn't want to cause a scene. After trying for another full minute, she desperately called out, "Let me out of this stall." She gave the door another push, and it came right open.
Fuck that.
So she apparently was spending some time calming down before she came back to the table.
Good God.
When the waitress came by to their table later, she saw that his date looked visibly distressed, and she told the waitress what happened, and the waitress was like, "Oh yeah, that happens a lot. You're not the first person to get trapped in a bathroom stall."
Oh,
yeah. She said that the ghosts just like to hang out in the women's restroom for some reason, so that's cool.
Assholes.
Jerks.
Or it's what's-his-nuts from Las Vegas. From the bathroom.
Huh?
In our story.
Oh, Bugsy.
Yeah. He's
Bugsy,
coming to hang out in Georgia.
He just hops around from hotel to hotel.
Exactly.
Because it used to be a hotel, right, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The upper floors.
Upper floors.
So, one of the more well-known paranormal sightings is a glowing white apparition that is frequently seen on the upper floors. The staff in general are afraid. They're so afraid of the upper floors and don't like going up there because many of them have seen a lady in white wandering around on the upper floors.
There's always a lady in white everywhere.
Why are there freaking ghosts wearing white all the time?
That's just what they wore, I guess.
Know. The lady in the white from Bachelor's Grove. So many people report feeling like the 4th floor harbored powerful dark energy and just generally...
Satanists!
Satan! So they just generally felt uneasy on the upper floors. And the upper floor was one of the places that became a makeshift hospital during the yellow fever outbreak. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine a lot of people died really horrific deaths up there.
Yeah. Yep.
So in the late 1800s, a hotel worker died on the 3rd floor. I couldn't find how. So they died in the 1800s. And apparently in the 1990s, during a renovation project, the foreman who was in charge of the project, his wife was violently pushed down the stairs.
Did she die?
I don't know.
Oh.
I tried to find that, and it doesn't say.
Oh.
I can't find it. But
Shit. Well, maybe she stayed alive.
So I don't know if, like, she became the lady in white, or if she was pushed down the stairs by the lady in white.
Oh, okay.
I don't actually know. I couldn't find that.
Yeah.
So he immediately resigned after that happened, and the floor was never actually renovated.
Huh. That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Shit.
I found a story from a TripAdvisor review, which I love these because they're coming straight from the horse's mouth.
Right.
So they went on a haunted pub tour. And the last stop of the tour was at Moon River, where they did the basement first and then went up to the 2nd floor. Mm-hmm. So this person wrote that on their way up the stairs, she said that her and her sister both got really, really bad vertigo, and they kind of like fell behind and had to stop for a minute and kind of get a hold of themselves.
Yeah.
And while they were hurrying to catch up, she wrote that she felt a strange rush come over her and felt like her skin was burning.
Oh, that's weird.
And she felt like she had a thick rope wrapped around her neck and suddenly, like, couldn't breathe. She was having a hard time breathing.
Oh my gosh.
So she's freaking out. The group all turn around, they see what's happening, they come over, and they said she was just covered in sweat and, like, hyperventilating, breathing super heavily. And her sister, who had been kind of just, like, snapping some pictures on her camera while they were trying to get caught up, caught a picture of a yellowish mist around her right before that whole thing happened.
Oh, shit.
So they look back at the pictures, and it's, like, these, like, balls of kind of yellowy, misty light.
Yellow fever, ghost.
Yellow fever, misty balls.
I hate those yellow misty balls.
Those damn yellow misty balls. God damn.
Get it together, guys.
So, I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that, like, that publisher lady also felt like something had grabbed her throat and was trying to strangle her. I don't know. These ghosts just get real strangle happy, I guess.
Right.
I don't know.
They just want to kill everyone.
They just want to...
Fuck you guys being happy. We're going
to
kill you.
You can't breathe. Yeah. Lastly, but certainly not least, is the Ghost Adventures episode.
Oh,
so I touched on this a little bit earlier. So Zach, of course, is doing his usual routine of interviewing everybody for the episode.
Yeah.
He's talking with one of the staff members, and he was saying, oh, can I reference the ghost of James Stark by name? You know, can I try to talk to him? And the staff guy's like, I would not taunt the ghosts if I were you. And Zach's like, why not? And he's like, well, it could get dangerous.
He's like, I mean, that's how it normally is. You never taunt ghosts.
Right. And
Don't
he's
be
like,
dumb.
What do you mean dangerous? He's like, they could get violent. So please be careful. Please don't be stupid, essentially, is what he was getting at. And yeah, to your point,
it's Zach Bagans you're talking about.
He needs to make a show, right? He needs something exciting to put on camera. He's just like so douchey about it. He's like, oh, you're gonna attack people? If you're gonna hurt people,
then come after me.
Get me. It's just so dumb.
Yeah, I'm a big macho man with my little faux hawk.
Right. So, of course, they do taunt the ghost. They ignore the guy's warning completely. Yeah. They hear the sounds of things moving. They claim they see a bunch of stuff out of the corner of their eye. All that usual palooka, in my opinion. But then, so this is super weird. I've never seen this before. They used some weird device. I can't remember what they called it, but it's supposed to... and I think this has got to be total bullshit. It converts spiritual energy to spoken word.
I know what you're talking about.
It's like this little box thing.
And then it shows the words on the box.
And it says them, like, in that horrible computer voice, like what people who can't speak use to communicate.
It has, like, a certain amount of words built into it, essentially, that are, like, programmed into it for whatever energy to pick up for that word or phrase or whatever to come through.
Okay. I've never heard of that before. And all this stuff that I've watched, I've never seen. And it's talking...
I don't think it's used very often. Because I think I've only seen it with them. I just don't know, like,
how that could possibly be a thing.
I don't know. That one is a little kind of up in the air, because I feel like if you have phrases programmed in, then you could just be like, oh, well, since we're a TV show, we're just going to program our own phrases in, and then we're going to click a button, and then it's going to go at a certain time when I'm asking questions.
It's saying things like yell and angry, and like really, it's just like saying all these sort of like, imagine dumb like a crossword box, like bank of words, but essentially for scary ghost things, and it spits them out and sounds like those like Stephen Hawking computer thing, like yo and and it just sounds so bad. So I had never seen that before. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't really believe that that's a thing, but it was kind of fun to watch. So one thing that was really creepy is they caught an EVP of this disembodied laugh coming from the 3rd floor, which is where the White Lady is often seen.
It's the White Lady cackling.
She's having a party up there.
She's just having fun. She
pushed someone down the stairs and was like, ha ha ha, sucks to suck. Jane. God, that happens a lot with us. But the recording is actually really creepy, and I feel like with some of the EVPs, it's the most vague, small, quiet sound. Yes. It could literally be anything, and this one was completely, clearly someone going like, ha 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 ha, like laughing. And I don't know who else would be in the building laughing unless they planted someone or whatever. But it was definitely creepy. That one freaked me out a little bit. So then they went to the basement, and of course the crew all starts freaking out because Zach saw something dart through the bar. And then this was interesting. A bunch of their cameras all stopped working at the same time. Yeah. So sucking up that battery juice.
Sucking up that energy so that they can energize themselves.
Yep. And they all were suddenly starting to freak out and turn around like, oh my God, I felt something run behind me. And they felt rushes of air and all that stuff.
Of course they did.
Of course they did.
When the cameras aren't working and they can't capture anything.
Right. Oh, how convenient. Uh-huh.
Gosh.
And then the last thing that kind of stuck out to me was one of the crew members, Nick, starts having this weird episode, kind of like in Demon House, where Zach kind of goes out of it completely and is like kind of unresponsive and just becomes not himself.
Yeah.
This guy, Nick, and their crew just kind of stands there and he has this totally glazed over look on his face and they're trying to talk to him and he just won't respond. And they're like, dude, stop. Like, what is wrong? Quit, don't fuck with me. Like, what's happening? And he's just like completely out of it and has this weird moment of like panic. So, yeah. Those are the main ones.
Oh.
Go grab a beer.
And see some ghosts.
Get out your voice box thing.
Yeah.
Take some pictures.
And see the white lady. Get pushed down some steps.
Grab a burger. Toby will push over your drink.
Yeah. You'll just lose everything. It's fine.
There's some good and there's some bad, right? Yeah. I mean, you go do some fun stuff and then you have some terrifying things happen. So
yeah. Let's go.
It'd be super fun.
We can go to the ghost tour thing.
Huh?
We can go to the ghost tour thing.
Yeah, they do tours.
We go to all the different
road
places.
Yep. We should just get an RV.
Yes.
And do the podcast remotely.
Yes.
And we'll just go places and record shit. Let's do it.
We don't need money.
Who needs money?
You guys fund our trips, please.
House payments are fake news.
Fake news.
Stupid.
Witch hunt.
Yeah.
Such hoax.
Such hoax. So, I have a story this came from my husband's aunt.
Oh, you got it.
I have a story.
Yay!
I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So she didn't write it down, but she told me in person. I saw her this weekend and she's like, she like pulled me aside. She's like, oh, I have to tell you about my story. And I'm like, yes, I'm so excited.
Here we go. Perfect.
She had two. They're not particularly long, but they're super interesting.
Yeah.
So the first one, so they live up in the northern part of Minnesota, right by Lake Itasca. That's national park, right? Yeah.
No, state park.
State park?
Itasca State Park.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, that's the headwaters of the Mississippi River. It's a really beautiful park. It's just outside of Bemidji, which is a small-ish town in northern Minnesota. And this is where my husband's relatives live. And so she said that she was driving in her car through the park. I think they were leaving the park. And she was just kind of driving down the road. And it's the middle of the day. It's not at night where all the cliche stuff jumps out of the woods and like makes you crash your car. It's the middle of the day. And she said she remembers seeing this family, I think it was like 2 adults and a kid, walking down the road, kind of like in the middle of the road. And she thought it was kind of weird because they were just walking really slowly and they didn't seem to notice the car coming at all. They didn't make any, signs that they were planning to move over off the road. So she kind of slowed down and was like, this is weird. And she said as she got closer, she noticed that there was like this very bright like aura around them. It looked like they were almost glowing.
Oh, that's weird.
And they were just kind of walking down the road and and she said it felt very happy and serene. And she got the sense that everything was just like really good and happy. And they just vanished from the road.
What?
Right before her eyes.
I was in Itasca like 3 months ago.
Really?
For a honeymoon.
Dude.
We went there.
Did you see any glowing ghost families? Happy ghost families?
Fuck, no.
So I asked her, I'm like, oh, you must have like turned your head away. When you looked back, they were gone. She's like, oh no, they literally vanished before my eyes. I didn't like blink and turn away and then they were gone. They literally just went poof.
What?
And I'm like, what? It's just like a state park. Why would there be this like
Holy
ghost
shit.
family? But she said that they seemed happy and everything was good. It was just kind of she's like, I don't know if they were ghosts. I just can't explain what I saw.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So the second one,
shit.
Same lady.
Yes.
She said she drove a lot between Bemidji and Fargo, I think. So she did a lot of driving east and west across the state of Minnesota for work, I think. And she was with a friend of hers who was in the car who was also commuting back and forth. And she was Native American. And on their way back to Bemidji, they were driving through, I think they called it White Mounds, like reservation. They were driving through an Indian reservation. And I think this one was at night. I should have written the details down more. I'm kind of forgetting now. But so they were driving and they saw this deer, this like white deer jump out onto the road. And it just completely vanished the second it got to the other side. Like didn't like run off into the woods. They watched it and they said it like jumped out and it felt like time had like slowed down for a second and it just completely vanished when it got to the other side of the road. And her Native American friend,
and like it didn't just go into the woods.
No,
and they didn't see it.
No, they didn't see it go into the woods. It literally they like watched it jump across the road and just go like poof.
It's fucking weird.
Super weird. And her friend, who's a Native American, was like, that was a spirit deer. Like, that was a ghost. That was some sort of, like, nature spirit or something.
What?
And, of course, my husband's on.
That's
She's
weird.
like, I don't know if I believe that. It could have just been that it went into the woods and we just didn't see it. But, like, we swear that we watched it and it just vanished. And her friend was convinced that it was this spirit.
Holy shit.
And they were driving right through an Indian reservation.
It's always Indian reservations.
I know.
So, kind of going off of that, it makes sense for Itasca because when we went, we were hiking down one trail, so we saw the head of the Mississippi, and then we went kind of back, and there was a trail that led it was probably about a 3-mile hike the whole time, and at the very end of the hike, it overlooks the little lake that where the Mississippi starts, and there's an Indian burial, like a cemetery back there.
Right.
And they have it, fenced off and everything, saying just, please be respectful of this area. It was an Indian burial ground,
So that could totally make sense then.
Right.
Yeah.
That was probably once a reservation or something up there, and that could have just been...
I don't know how
family walking around.
Yeah, I don't know how you explain just seeing a family walking down the middle of the road, not reacting to you, not even noticing that your car is coming up on that, and just going poof into thin air. So I wonder, the fact that she's seen 2 things where she saw something physical and then it just vanished into thin air. I wonder if she's more in tune with
could be
spirit stuff. Maybe she just has an
aura.
I
want that aura. I want
a paranormal sensitivity.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's like the sequel to Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
but paranormal sensitivity.
Perfect.
Sensitivity?
Is that what I said?
I think so. Paranormal sensitivity.
Yeah.
And it's about just people who are really sensitive to ghosts.
I want to be sensitive to ghosts.
I don't.
That'd be cool.
I don't want to know. I like to hear about it. I don't want to experience it.
I don't know, that'd be sweet. We should go to a psychic.
A psychic?
Yeah.
Isn't
Allison knows a psychic.
Isn't that one step away from going to a Ouija board and using a Ouija board?
No. Because Allison knows a psychic. Allison is my sister-in-law. And they did a party for one of her friends' bachelorette parties. And everything, all the stories that she's told us from it is accurate.
What?
And this lady doesn't know Allison, doesn't know our family. She was picking up on information from my family just based off of Allison.
Right,
and Allison being close, obviously, to Andy. Picked up my grandma. I think my Aunt Vicky.
Their names, though? Or, what
no,
about
just,
them?
Feelings. So there, one story was, it was Andy, my brother, he was studying for his master's, or I think he was doing his thesis. And this was when Eva was still in the hospital. And so he was very, just, stressed out and everything, and so she said, I think that my grandma was with him, and that she said that everything was going to be okay, and that you're going to get through this, and it'll all be fine in the end.
Not to discredit that experience, but isn't that really generic stuff, though? Isn't everyone at some point going through something stressful?
No, because she picked up on, yes, you can say that someone is going through something stressful, but there was another, I don't remember the specifics, but she said that there was another spirit coming through that wasn't, coming through all the way, but she's feeling something in, the pancreas stomach area.
And of her?
Not Alice. The psychic was.
Yeah. So the psychic was feeling it in her stomach.
Yes.
Ooh.
And my aunt died of pancreatic cancer.
Whoa. Okay, that one is a little specific.
So that one, I was like, oh, okay. And there were a couple other stories that she told me that I don't remember, the details of it, but it picked up specifically on our family.
Interesting.
And,
after enough of them, maybe one is kind of generic, but then after several in a row. Okay, yeah. I could see that.
I want to just see what she picks up. Just see.
Interesting.
Just go, because she does personal things. She does group readings and stuff. I don't know how much.
Then we can talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
She'd be like,
exactly.
You bitches are way too obsessed with this stuff. You are gonna get yourself haunted or murdered or both. Please calm down and stop obsessing over death all the time. Okay, cool.
So we should do that.
Let's do it.
That'd be cool.
All right. Well, if you have anything interesting or unexplainable like that that you want to tell us about,
tell us.
Let us know if you've got a psychic friend or someone in your family has the sight or the vision or whatever.
Sees them ghosts.
Yeah, we want to hear about it. If you've experienced anything creepy, send your stories to nightmarenation19@gmail.com.
Or the Facebook.
Or the gram.
The gram.
The Instagram.
Instagram.
Follow us. Let us know. Leave us a review. You know, we want to know what you guys think, and we want to know how to make the show better. Yeah, totally. Perfect. Yep. And make sure to subscribe so you get episodes every week.
Yeah.
So
don't use Ouija boards.
Don't use a Ouija board. Don't get haunted.
Don't do satanic rituals.
Yeah, don't do that. That did not end well in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. So stay away from those two.
Yep.
Okay,
Be
bye.
safe.